Hello students. Now today we are going to start standard 10th subject Science and Technology part 2nd unit number 2, that is life processes in living organisms part 1st. So we have to start our second unit, that is life processes in living organisms part 1st. Before to start this unit, there are some questions which are based on the knowledge of your last standard, that is can you recall, in which first point is how are the foodstuffs and their nutrients contents useful for our body. म्हणजे आपण जे काही खाद्यपदार्थ घेतो आणि त्याच्यामधले जे न्यूट्रिएंट्स आहे ते आपल्या शरीरासाठी कसे उपयुक्त आहे. सो द फूडस्टफ्स म्हणजे खाद्यपदार्थ, द फूडस्टफ्स आर डायजेस्टेड अँड कन्वर्टेड इनटू soluble nutrients. See, this foodstuffs is converted into nutrients, soluble nutrients. Nutrients, it means carbohydrates, proteins, fats, like this. These are nutrients. So after digestion, this foodstuff is converted into soluble nutrients, and these nutrients are carried out by the blood towards the each and every cell of our body. See, after the conversion of these foodstuffs into nutrients, these nutrients are carried out with the help of blood towards the each cell. म्हणजे खाद्यपदार्थांचं डायजेशन झाल्यावर त्यांचं कन्वर्जन हे सोल्युबल न्यूट्रिएंट्स मध्ये होतं आणि ब्लडच्या माध्यमातून ते प्रत्येक सेल पर्यंत हे न्यूट्रिएंट्स हे पाठवले जातात. Nutrients, it means carbohydrate, proteins, fats. So after that, the oxygen, next point is oxygen inhaled at time of respiration is also carried out to every cell. म्हणजे बघा न्यूट्रिएंट्स हे सेल मध्ये गेलेले आहे आणि त्याच्यानंतर ऑक्सिजन विच वॉज इनहेल ॲट टाइम ऑफ रेस्पिरेशन, म्हणजे ज्यावेळेस आपण इनहेलेशन करतो त्यावेळेस हा जो ऑक्सिजन आहे तो देखील आपल्या बॉडीमध्ये जातो आणि मग विथ द हेल्प ऑफ ब्लड इट रिचेस टुवर्ड्स द ईच सेल. म्हणजे सेलमध्ये बघा आता काय आलेले न्यूट्रिएंट्स आणि ऑक्सिजन हे दोन घटक त्या ठिकाणी आलेले आहे. सो द ऑक्सिजन विच कॅरीड आउट द ऑक्सिडेशन ऑफ nutrients. So in the cell what happens, this oxygen carries oxidation of these nutrients. Now what is oxidation? You know this concept, oxidation, it means gain of oxygen or loss of electron. So there is a oxidation of nutrients, and in this process energy is produced, and this energy which is formed by the oxidation of nutrient, this energy is very useful for us. That is, this energy help the body to carry out its function. म्हणजे आपल्या शरीराचे वेगवेगळे फंक्शन जे आहेत ते करण्यासाठी आपल्याला एनर्जी लागते, मग त्यासाठी या एनर्जीचा उपयोग हा होत असतो. त्याचबरोबर द न्यूट्रिएंट्स हेल्प्स इन द ग्रोथ अँड डेव्हलपमेंट ऑफ अवर बॉडी, म्हणजे आपल्या शरीराची वाढ आणि विकास होण्यासाठी पण त्या ठिकाणी याची आवश्यकता असते. सो इन दिस वे foodstuffs and their nutrients are useful to our body. See, nutrients mainly these nutrients, they are of three types, that is energy giving nutrients. See, energy giving nutrients first, then second one is body building nutrients, and last one is protective and regulative nutrients. protective and regulative nutrients. So these are three types of nutrients, that is energy giving nutrients, which are gained by the carbohydrates. Then second one is body building nutrients, which was gained by the proteins. And last one is protective and regulative nutrients, which were gained by the vitamins and minerals. And these constituents are gained by a balanced diet. So balanced diet. So what is mean by balanced diet? See, balanced diet ज्याला आपण मराठीमध्ये संतुलित आहार असं म्हणतो बघा. Balanced diet has a carbohydrate, proteins, fats, vitamins and minerals in a right proportion. Diet containing carbohydrate, protein, fats, vitamins and minerals in a right proportion is called as a balanced diet. And with the help of this balanced diet, we get nutrients which was useful to our body. So in this way there is a use of these nutrients in our body. Now another point, that is for the creation of our energy, there are two important constituents, that is foodstuffs, which forms nutrients, and second one is oxygen. So due to the circulatory system, glucose from the digestive system, see, ड्यू टू द सर्क्युलेटरी सिस्टीम, आपल्या बॉडीमध्ये बघा वेगवेगळ्या सिस्टीम्स आहे, मग त्याच्यामधली जी सर्क्युलेटरी सिस्टीम आहे, इट टेक्स ग्लुकोज फ्रॉम द डायजेस्टिव्ह सिस्टीम अँड ऑक्सिजन फ्रॉम द रेस्पिरेटरी सिस्टीम विच इज ट्रान्सपोर्टेड टू एव्हरी सेल. म्हणजे विथ द हेल्प ऑफ सर्क्युलेटरी सिस्टीम देयर इज अ ट्रान्सफॉर्मेशन ऑफ ग्लुकोज फ्रॉम न्यूट्रिएंट्स अँड ऑक्सिजन फ्रॉम द respiration process is coming into the cell, and then in every cell with the help of oxygen glucose molecules forms energy by the process of oxidation. So for the energy formation in our body there is a need of nutrients and oxygen. So these are two important constituents for the formation of energy. In this unit we have to learn then how the energy is formed in our body. So this is about the recall. Now next point is living organisms and life processes. So our next point is living organisms and life processes. सजीवांच्या जीवन प्रक्रिया. So in this point we have to learn that various organ systems are present in our body performing a specific function. In our body there are many systems like digestive system, respiratory system, circulatory system, excretory system, and these different system they contains different organs, that is internal organ as well as external organ, and they are performing their function independently but through a complete coordination. म्हणजे आपल्या बॉडी मधले ज्या वेगवेगळ्या सिस्टीम्स आहे त्याच्यामध्ये वेगवेगळे ऑर्गन्स पण आहे, पण प्रत्येक सिस्टीमचं जे फंक्शन आहे ते डिफरंट आहे आणि प्रत्येक सिस्टीम जे आहे ते आपलं फंक्शन व्यवस्थितपणे करत असते. का? बिकॉज देयर इज अ कोऑर्डिनेशन इन द ऑर्गन्स ऑफ अवर बॉडी, and due to that they perform function very well. Example, in our digestive system there are different organs like stomach, liver, pancreas, small intestine, large intestine, etc. So they do the process of digestion very well because there is a coordination between these all organs of our body system, and also other systems also help to perform the function. So there is a good coordination between these systems and their, or there are different systems in our body and they functions in coordination with each other. For this action they need a constant supply of energy. म्हणजे आपल्या ह्युमन बॉडीमध्ये ज्या काही वेगवेगळ्या सिस्टीम्स आहेत त्यांच्यामध्ये कोऑर्डिनेशन आहे आणि त्याच्यामुळेच काय होतंय की ते आपल्या बॉडीचं जे काही फंक्शन आहे ते व्यवस्थितपणे त्या ठिकाणी करत आहे. अँड फॉर दिस ॲक्शन, आणि यासाठी काय, दे नीड अ कॉन्स्टंट सप्लाय ऑफ एनर्जी. म्हणजे बॉडी फंक्शन्स करण्यासाठी त्यांना कसली आवश्यकता आहे, एनर्जी. So this energy is getting by the nutrients, which means carbohydrate, proteins, fats, lipids, vitamins, minerals. So these are nutrients which are important for the energy formation in our body. So carbohydrates, fats and lipids in our diet, they provides energy to the body. Then the mitochondria which is present in the cytoplasm of the cell. Now you know the structure of cell which contain nucleus as well as mitochondria, cytoplasm and different cell organelles. So the mitochondria which is present in the cell it synthesizes the energy. It synthesizes the energy by utilizing these nutrients. म्हणजे सेलमध्ये जो मायटोकॉन्ड्रिया असतो तो काय करतो की या न्यूट्रिएंटचं युटिलायझेशन करतो आणि त्या ठिकाणी एनर्जी फॉर्म करत असतो. पण त्यासाठी बघा, फॉर दिस रिॲक्शन इट रिक्वायर्स ऑक्सिजन. म्हणजे एनर्जी फॉर्म करण्यासाठी त्या ठिकाणी ऑक्सिजनची देखील आवश्यकता असते. अँड इट वॉज प्रोव्हाइडेड and it is provided by circulating the blood. So each cell then supplied with the oxygen and nutrients to produce the energy. Energy is produced in our cell with the help of nutrients and oxygen. So these two factors are important for creating energy in our cell by the mitochondria. So these are important factors for the formation of energy. Now next is nutrients which are gained by the nutrition. So what is mean by nutrition? So it is a process of taking nutrients in the body. So in every living organism they have a different nutritions. That is process of taking nutrients in the body. म्हणजे प्रत्येक सजीवामध्ये त्या ठिकाणी न्यूट्रिशनची आवश्यकता असते आणि त्या न्यूट्रिशन मधून काय करतात, वी गेट न्यूट्रिएंट्स. म्हणजे आपण वेगवेगळे न्यूट्रिएंट जे आहे म्हणजे पोषक द्रव्य हे आपण त्या ठिकाणी मिळवत असतो. आता याच्यामध्ये बघा, प्लांट्स, फर्स्ट वन इज प्लांट्स आर ऑटोट्रॉफिक. प्लांट्स कसे, ऑटोट्रॉफिक. दे कॅन प्रिपेअर देअर ओन फूड. ते काय करतात, they can synthesize their own food by the photosynthesis, and after utilizing some of their own needs, the remaining food is stored in fruits, root, stem, leaves etc. म्हणजे प्लांट्स हे काय, ऑटोट्रॉफ्स आहे. they can make their own food by the process of photosynthesis, and photosynthesis द्वारे ते स्वतःचं अन्न स्वतः बनवतात. आफ्टर युटिलायझिंग म्हणजे जेवढं आवश्यक आहे तेवढं फूड युटिलाइज झाल्यानंतर म्हणजे वापर केल्यानंतर काय होतं बघा, आफ्टर युटिलायझेशन सम ऑफ दिस रिमेनिंग फूड इज स्टोर्ड इन फ्रूट्स, रूट, देन स्टेम्स अँड लीव्स एक्सेट्रा. म्हणजे जे उरलेलं अन्न आहे ते त्या प्लांट्सचे जे वेगवेगळे पार्ट्स आहे म्हणजे फ्रूट्स आहे, रूट्स आहे, स्टेम, लीव्स याच्यामध्ये ते स्टोअर केलेलं असतं. सो आफ्टर दॅट plants matter is consumed by animals, thus taking the nutrients from them. आता बघा याच्यामध्ये नेक्स्ट पॉइंट जो दिलेला आहे ह्युमन अँड अदर ॲनिमल्स. सी, human and other animals consume the fruits and vegetables. Now we have seen that plants, they are autotrophs and they can make their own food, but human being and other animals, they consume the fruits and vegetables. Now we consume all different types of plants and fruits for gaining the nutrients like carbohydrate, protein, fats, vitamins and minerals, which was gaining by these plants and fruits. So these type of food material we have to consume for getting nutrients. So now carbohydrate, which was very important to our body, carbohydrates. So their sources, which are the source of carbohydrates. So milk, fruits, jaggery, cane sugar, cereals, vegetables, potatoes, sweet meats, etc. These are all sources of the carbohydrates. And what is the function of carbohydrate? See, carbohydrates provides 4 kilocalorie energy per gram. So carbohydrate provides 4 kilocalorie energy per gram. Carbohydrates, we have already seen that it is a energy giving nutrients. So we got 4 kilocalorie energy per gram from the carbohydrates. Now there is another point, that is, can you recall? So in this point there is a human respiratory system and the process of respiration is given. So you know about the respiration process. See, first, what is meant by respiration? Now next point is respiration. Previous we have seen that how the nutrients are getting from the foodstuffs. Now another point, that is the respiration. So what is meant by respiration? So it is a process by which energy is produced. So what is meant by respiration? It is a process by which energy is produced. See, there is a little confusion between the breathing and respiration. See, what is breathing? It means inhalation and exhalation. Inhalation of oxygen and exhalation of carbon dioxide is called as a breathing. But respiration, what happens in respiration? There is a production of energy. So it is a process by which energy is produced. See what happens in respiration. Respiration मध्ये काय होतं बघा, when oxygen is coming in our lungs, what happens? Then there is a cellular respiration, and in this process energy is produced and it is called as a respiration. So this is the concept of respiration. Now we have already seen that in cell. So this is a cell. There is a glucose. There is a glucose which was coming from the nutrients, and then another factor, that is oxygen, which is coming from the inhalation. So after this, oxygen is also coming inside the cell by the circulatory system. So in this there is a oxidation of these nutrients or glucose, and after that there is a production of energy. So we have to see the equation of this respiration process. Now respiration process equation. So C6H12O6, that is glucose, then O2. So inside the cell there is a oxidation of this glucose. So there is a reaction between glucose and oxygen, that is oxidation process. And after the oxidation process there is a formation of carbon dioxide plus water and plus energy. So in this way there is a formation of energy in the in this process. So this is the equation of respiration. So there is a oxidation of glucose, and after oxidation there is a formation of CO2, H2O and energy. In this way there is a formation of energy in cell. Now this is a unbalanced equation, so we have to balance this equation. Now see, there is a 6 carbon is here, and in this side there is only 1 carbon, so we have to write here 6. Now 6 carbon. Now next H12, hydrogen, number of hydrogen is 12. So and in this side there is only 2 hydrogens, so we have to write here 6. Now 6 2s are 12. So we have to balance this number of hydrogen. And then oxygen. See, in this case 6 2s are 12 and plus 6, that is 18 oxygen is here. 6 2s are 12 and this 6 oxygen, that is 18 oxygen in product side. And in this side you will see that there is 6 oxygen is here, and if we have to write here 6, then 6 2s are 12 and 12 plus 6 18. So in this way we have to balance this chemical equation of respiration. Now this is a balanced equation of respiration. So in this way there is a formation of energy. We have to also write here energy, it means ATP molecules. So there is a formation of ATP molecules. So this is the equation of respiration, which is also important for exam. There are some questions which given in your book, that is, how many atoms of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen respectively present in a molecule of glucose. See, this is the formula of glucose, which contain 6 carbon atom, 12 hydrogen atom and 6 oxygen atoms. Now next one is, in terms of chemistry, what happens actually when a molecule is oxidized? So in oxidation there is a gain of oxygen or there is a loss of electron, which is known as a oxidation. So this, in organisms respiration takes place in 2 levels, out of which first one is known as a body level and second one is cellular respiration. So first one is body level respiration and next one is cellular respiration. So in organism respiration takes place in 2 levels, so out of which first one is body level. So what happens in this body level respiration? So in this exchange of respiratory gases between the body and surrounding, that is, there is an exchange of O2 and CO2 in our body and surrounding. So it is called as a body level respiration. And next one is cellular respiration. So what is meant by cellular respiration? So in this process, the oxidation of nutrients, see, oxidation of nutrients inside the cell with the help of oxygen or without oxygen, it's called as a cellular respiration. So these are two levels of respiration. Now, carbohydrates of the food that we consume every day, they are mainly utilized for the production of energy which was required for daily need. म्हणजे आपण जे काही कार्बोहायड्रेट्स आपल्या फूडमध्ये जे काही कार्बोहायड्रेट असतं, मग त्याचं काय केलं जातं त्या ठिकाणी, विच वॉज मेनली युटिलाइज फॉर द प्रोडक्शन ऑफ एनर्जी. म्हणजे जी एनर्जी आपल्याला लागत असते ती प्रोड्यूस करण्यासाठी मेनली काय यूज केलं जातं, देयर इज अ युटिलायझेशन ऑफ कार्बोहायड्रेट्स अँड वी हॅव ऑलरेडी सीन what are the sources of carbohydrates also. Now energy is obtained in the form of ATP. म्हणजे आपल्या बॉडीमध्ये जी एनर्जी फॉर्म होते ती कुठल्या फॉर्ममध्ये असते, ATP मॉलिक्युल्स, ॲडिनोसाइन ट्रायफॉस्फेट. So in the form of ATP molecules the energy is formed in our body. So for this purpose glucose, that is a type of carbohydrate, we have seen that carbohydrates are mainly utilized for the production of energy which was required for daily need, and this glucose which is a type of carbohydrate. So this glucose is oxidized step by step in the cell, because we have seen that inside the cell there is a production of energy. So this glucose is oxidized step by step in the cell, and which is known as a cellular respiration. As we have seen that in cellular respiration what happens, there is a oxidation of nutrients, that is glucose. So in this cellular respiration what happens, so in cellular respiration there is a oxidation of this glucose. This process is take place step by step. Then cellular respiration occurs among the living organism by two methods. So cellular respiration, it occurs, cellular respiration occurs among the living organisms by two methods, that is aerobic respiration in which oxygen is involved, and another is anaerobic respiration, that is oxygen is not involved. So there are two methods of this cellular respiration, that is aerobic and anaerobic. In aerobic respiration there is a utilization of free form of oxygen, and in this anaerobic there is not use of free form of oxygen molecule. So it is called as a anaerobic respiration. Now in aerobic respiration glucose is oxidized in 3 steps. So now we have to see the aerobic respiration. So our next point is aerobic respiration. ऑक्सी श्वसन ज्याला मराठीमध्ये म्हणता येईल, ऑक्सी श्वसन, aerobic respiration. So these all process occurs in cell. Now in aerobic respiration glucose is oxidized in 3 steps. So glucose is oxidized in 3 steps. म्हणजे एरोबिक रेस्पिरेशन काय याच्यामध्ये काय होतंय, तर ग्लुकोजचं काय होतंय, ऑक्सिडेशन होतंय इन 3 स्टेप्स. 3 स्टेप्स मध्ये त्याचं त्या ठिकाणी ऑक्सिडेशन होत आहे. सो आउट ऑफ दॅट फर्स्ट वन इज ग्लायकोलिसिस. फर्स्ट स्टेप इज glycolysis. So what happens in this glycolysis, we have to see. Process of glycolysis is occur in the cytoplasm. So in glycolysis, process of glycolysis is occurs in the cytoplasm, which is present in the cell. What happens in this? A molecule of glucose, see, a molecule of glucose is oxidized step by step in this process. So what happens in this glycolysis? There is a oxidation of this glucose molecule take place step by step, and after that the two molecules of each pyruvic acid, ATP, and NADH2 and water are formed. So what happens in this? See, glucose is oxidized. Glucose is oxidized step by step, and there is a formation of two molecules of PA, that is pyruvic acid. So after oxidation, there is a formation of two molecules of PA, that is pyruvic acid, as well as there is also formation of 2 ATP, so 2 ATP and 2 NADH2, that is energy rich molecules. So there is a conversion of this glucose into a 2 pyruvic acid molecule, as well as there is a formation of 2 ATP molecules and 2 NADH2 molecules, and water, they are formed, and water is also formed. So what happens in glycolysis? It is a process in which there is a conversion of glucose after oxidation into a two molecules of pyruvic acid, ATP, and NADH2 molecules, and water is also formed. So this process is called as a glycolysis. Then molecules of this pyruvic acid which was formed in this process, they are converted into a molecule of acetyl coenzyme A. So after that, this pyruvic acid, that is molecules of pyruvic acid, they are converted into a molecules of acetyl coenzyme A. Acetyl coenzyme A. Then two molecules of NADH2 and two molecules of CO2 are released during this process. See what happens? Glucose is converted into a molecules of this pyruvic acid, ATP molecule, and NADH2 molecules. After that, this pyruvic acid is converted into a acetyl coenzyme A, and during this conversion there is a release of two molecules of NADH2 and two molecules of CO2. So in this process, two molecules of NADH2 and two molecules of carbon dioxide, they are released during this process. So this is the first step of oxidation of glucose. As we have seen that in aerobic respiration, glucose is oxidized in 3 steps, out of which we have seen first step, that is glycolysis. What happens in glycolysis? There is a conversion of this glucose into a two molecules of pyruvic acid, ATP molecule, and NADH2 molecule, and water is also formed after the oxidation. Now next one is this pyruvic acid is converted into acetyl coenzyme A, and during this conversion it releases two molecules of CO2 and two molecules of NADH2, that is energy rich molecule, that is NADH2. So this is the first process, that is glycolysis. Now next process, that is called as a tricarboxylic acid cycle. So next, this is the second step for the oxidation of glucose, tricarboxylic acid cycle. So in previous, that is in glycolysis, we have seen that there is a formation of two molecules of acetyl coenzyme A. So next one is, both molecules of acetyl coenzymes A enters the mitochondria. So what happens? Acetyl coenzyme A. So these molecules of this acetyl coenzyme A enters into the mitochondria. First step, that is glycolysis, which occurs in the cytoplasm of the cell, and after that, as we have seen that in glycolysis, last product is acetyl coenzyme. So these molecules of this acetyl coenzyme enters in the mitochondria of the cell. Then after that, so it enters in the mitochondria of cell. Then what happens? Cyclic chain of reactions called as a tricarboxylic acid cycle is operated on it in the mitochondria. So what happens? Acetyl coenzyme A is entered in the mitochondria, and after that there is a cyclic chain of reactions called as a tricarboxylic acid cycle, which is operated in the mitochondria. म्हणजे मायटोकॉन्ड्रिया मध्ये हे ऍसिटिल कोएन्झाइम ए गेल्यानंतर त्याच्यावर काय होतात? सायक्लिक रिएक्शन्स होतात. चेन, देयर इज अ सायक्लिक चेन ऑफ रिएक्शन्स which was called as a tricarboxylic acid cycle. So it occurs in the mitochondria. Then acetyl, it is a part of acetyl coenzyme, is completely oxidized through this cyclical process. So what happens? After the chain of cyclic reactions, there is a complete oxidation of this acetyl coenzyme. Acetyl coenzyme A is completely oxidized through these cyclic processes, and then the molecules of CO2, then water, NADH2, FADH2 are derived. So in the second step, we get different molecules of CO2, NADH2, FADH2. So these products are formed in the second step. In first step, we have seen that glucose converted into a pyruvic acid, then pyruvic acid converts into a acetyl coenzyme, and this glycolysis which occur in the cytoplasm of the cell. Now next, tricarboxylic acid cycle. What happens in this? Acetyl coenzyme A which enters into the mitochondria, and after that there is a cyclic chain of reactions called as a tricarboxylic acid cycle is operated inside the mitochondria, and during that there is a complete oxidation of this acetyl coenzyme occurs, and the molecules of CO2, water, NADH2 and FADH2 are derived in this process. So this is the second step. So next step, that is the third step called as a electron transfer chain reaction. So last step for the oxidation of glucose process is ETC reaction, that is electron transfer chain reaction. So what happens in this reaction? So the molecules of NADH2 and FADH2 are formed during the all above process. We have seen that there is a formation of NADH2 and FADH2 molecules. Then these molecules of NADH2 and FADH2, they participate in the electron transfer chain reaction. So these molecules NADH2 and FADH2, so they participate in the electron transfer chain reaction, and due to this 3 molecules of ATP are obtained. What happens? 3 molecules of ATP obtained from the 1 molecule of NADH2, and 2 ATP molecules are formed by the single molecule of this FADH2 molecule. So we have to say that one NADH2 molecule, it forms 3 ATP molecules, and 1 FADH2 molecule forms 2 ATP molecules. So in this way there is a formation of ATP molecules, as well as water molecules are also formed in this reaction. So electron transfer chain reaction is operated in the mitochondria only. So there is a formation of ATP molecules. Thus a molecule of glucose is completely oxidized in aerobic respiration, and the molecules of CO2 and water are produced along with the energy. So finally we can say that what are the products of aerobic respiration? That is, in aerobic respiration there is a complete oxidation of glucose molecule occurs, and during this there is a formation of water molecule, carbon dioxide, and there is a formation of 38 ATP molecules in aerobic respiration. So in this way we have seen the process of aerobic respiration, which occur in 3 steps, that is glycolysis, next one is tricarboxylic acid cycle, and last one is electron transfer chain reaction. So in this way there is a complete oxidation of glucose molecule occurs and formation of ATP molecules.